This is MLS Next Pro. It's the nightcap of Match Weekend 8. We welcome you to Washington State. Starfire Stadium, the setting this evening. Tacoma Defiance are soaring up the standings, winners of 3 straight matches. Every intention tonight of making that 4 as the Defiance square off with Minnesota United FC2. Fresh off one of the more thrilling games of Match Week 7. 2 points earned last week in a shootout victory over Chicago. Let's take a glimpse of the table through what is now nearly 2 full months of the campaign. Colorado prevails 1-0 over Austin tonight to take the outright lead in the Western Conference standings. As you're taking a look at the East here, what a start Crown Legacy has gotten off to in their inaugural season as well. A 5-point lead over the defending champions of the league, Columbus Crew 2, who won the inaugural MLS Next Pro Championship. But in the West, Tacoma and Minnesota United FC2 battling for placement here as we take a look at the starting 11s. First for Wade Weber's Tacoma Defiance. Up front, the 2 goal scorers from last week, former Kentucky Wildcat Aitor Bjorgolfsson, in the Division II Player of the Year last year. Braulio Rodriguez, he had the go-ahead goal in the 88th minute against Real Monarchs to keep the winning ways going. And don't forget, even with the goal-scoring chops, those two, it's center back Hal Uderitz who leads the team with 4 goals. Minnesota United is led by Cameron Knowles in his 2nd season guiding the Loons. For Diego Pacheco leads the team in goals with 5. That's 3rd in the league as well. The 23-year-olds combines with Patrick Weah and Emmanuel Iwe up front for a formidable presence. 15 goals scored this season for Minnesota. That's tied for 3rd most in the league. Welcome into the broadcasts. I'm AJ Ricketts. Pleasure to be alongside you for this one on a Sunday night at Starfire Stadium in Tukwila, the beautiful Pacific Northwest. A warm, sunny 78 degrees this evening as warm-ups have concluded. Tacoma is as hot as any team in the league right now. Minnesota started that way with 3 straight wins. However, FC2 has not won outright since April 9th. The aspirations of nixing that development tonight. So on the road here in Tukwila, just about set to get things going. Beautiful evening for the beautiful sport. Tacoma Defiance hoping to make it 4 straight tonight. Minnesota United played one of the most fun matches in the entire league last week. They went up 2-0, then conceded 3 consecutive goals to Chicago Fire 2. Looks like they would drop points in that match. And forced a late own goal from Chicago to send it to kicks from the spot, where they were able to find the winning touch in spot kicks and earn at least 2 points despite conceding those 3 goals. We're underway from Starfire Stadium. Minnesota United, FC2, Tacoma Defiance. Fun Western Conference tilt to finish off Match Week 8 here on MLSNextPro.com. AJ Ricketts alongside you here. Minnesota in the road blues. Jorgensen went down, was pleading for a foul. Now it came. There was a brief advantage played. Karen Collado is our head referee tonight. Quickly initiated to the near side. Travian Souza. Vito Ovalle whips it in. Bjorgolfsson trying to get his right foot to that. Sebastian Gomez on the right wing tonight for Tacoma. A 16-year-old from Boca Raton. There's Frank DeRoma looking to switch it near side. Georgie Manungu can't chase it down. Liked the idea though. His last 3 wins for Tacoma. 2-1 last week at Real Monarchs. 3-1 here at home against LA Galaxy 2. And a 2-1 victory on the road at Houston Dynamo 2. They've outscored their opponents 7-3 in that stretch. And also winners of 4 of the last 5 if you extend that back to the April 2nd thrashing of Real Monarchs, 5-0. So that has shot them up the standings. Taking a look at the Eastern Conference table at the top of the broadcast. In the West, it's Colorado Rapids who leads the way with 22 points with their 1-0 victory tonight against Austin FC. Tacoma, not far behind. They sit in third with 15 points. And even though Minnesota United is in seventh with 13 points, the way it all shakes out, if they win outright here today, they'll shoot up to third themselves. So to put things quite simply, an outright win for either side puts them in sole possession of third. Tacoma's already there. They'd be right on the doorstep of Austin FC2, who is in second. Reed Weber's club has certainly looked strong throughout the first 2 months of the campaign. Mungu got his foot in there. This will settle itself in the box. Options here for Tacoma. Centering pass just got by Jorgelsen. Great idea and effort there from Mungu to set up a potential opportunity there for Tacoma. Play down the far side. Options here on the near side, and that's a great dive from Andrew Thomas, his first test of the evening. No problem there. There's a good run being made by Pacheco on the near side. Sousa was tracking. If that was placed in the right spot, though, may have been problematic for Tacoma there. Minnesota looking very competent on one of their first counter opportunities. Sousa to throw in, who signed in March of 2022. Jorgelsen a little too physical there, battling with Britton Fisher, starting his 7th match of the campaign. Headers here settled for a moment. Rory O'Driscoll had a touch. O'Driscoll again on the near side. Down to play. We're talking with Minnesota headman Cameron Knowles about that shootout victory last week. He said, look, the 2 points feels good when you're just sitting there staring at none at one point, but he said to go up 2-0, concede 3 goals at home, allow ourselves to let Chicago get back in the game. You have to give credit to them. They took their chances, but was happy to at least get 2 points out of everything when it was all said and done. He said he helped that they're an Eastern Conference team as well, so it's, even though Chicago did earn a point out of all that, that's nearly a giveaway in the back there for Tacoma. Eventually handled and sprayed near side to Sousa. At least 2 goals in each of the last 3 matches for Tacoma. Critical second goal coming in the 88th minute last week off the foot of Braulio Rodriguez. Turn here from Rodriguez on cue. He's lost his balance. Back to Frank DeRoma. It's been a number of years. Excuse me. It's been the 2021-22 USL season with Las Vegas Lights. It's made a nice transition to the Sounders organization. So around here, Rodriguez with his left, coming across the mouth of goal, and Rodriguez has yet another tally to his name. It's his 4th goal this season, and Tacoma quickly up 1-0. How easy does he make it look? Receives the loose ball in the middle of your frame. No one steps up to him in the moment. Able to launch it with his lefts. Find the right side of net. Frustration defensively there for Minnesota United. And Braulio Rodriguez just keeps scoring. The Division II Player of the Year last season collegiately out of Franklin Pierce University. He has continued that goal-scoring prowess. Signed earlier this year in February. What a start for Tacoma. You hear the chants and the good vibes right now at Starfire Stadium. Did so well to place that in the perfect spot, almost unexpected perhaps for Fred Emmings. It didn't look like that particular angle might have been there. Just cut it inside towards the right post. May have even took a deflection. Nevertheless, Tacoma in the first 10 minutes goes up 1-0. Manungu is trying to tap that to Bjorgolfsson. Trip there and a foul, and Sousa will go into the book early here. As Pacheco is looking to make a run on that near sideline.
Official has signaled a yellow card. Defiance player number 31, Travian Sousa.
Sousa the yellow card. First booking for either side here this evening. So now one of these Tacoma attacking players tied for the team lead in goals scored, along with their center back, Hal Uteritz. Goals can come in many forms and fashion on this Tacoma side. Good interplay here. Manungu back taps it. Now Bjorgolfsson with it. Good creativity from the midfield from Tacoma. And the clear foul from Ovalle, who will help O'Driscoll up. O'Driscoll was a vital part of the University of New Hampshire NCAA tournament team this past fall. Advanced to the second round of the tournament. It's an interesting mix. It's always intriguing to evaluate and take stock of how different teams approach their roster makeup. Some have proclivity of academy products in their starting lineup week in or week out. Some mix a little bit more from the collegiate ranks. But it's safe to say, no matter how the makeup is, it's a very youthful league. Plenty of players vying for MLS opportunities. There's already much precedent with that. Nearly 50 players have signed first-team contracts or earned experience at the first-team level in just the year plus of MLS Next Pro. Pathway is there all around the league. Here's Frank DeRoma. Good touch. Manungu making a run on the near side. Pursued by Pacheco, centering ball, takes a deflection, top of the box, shot, and parried away at the final moment by Fred Emmings. This is very encouraging stuff from Tacoma in the first 15 minutes. MNUFC2 has been very active. Bjorgovsen made a run center, was a bit out in front of him. The rebound comes to Sebastian Gomez, who really didn't waste much time. That's probably a necessary touch from Emmings. Unsure if that got past his hands, if that would have found the net. It's hard to say for sure it would not have. Nevertheless, it's a corner kick here for Tacoma Defiance. Herrera will sprint near. It's played towards the far post, though Uderitz was in the area. Gomez did well to save it, but a little bit of a shove on Carlos Leatherman. I think he's pleading his case for a foul to have happened earlier. Fred Emmings in net for Minnesota United. He started and played in all 8 matches this season. No keeper with time in nets for Minnesota aside from Emmings this season. 13 goals against entering tonight, so 14 now, 21 saves to his credit. Through the first 14 plus minutes, there's 2 shots taken, both of them coming from Tacoma. 5-0 advantage in total touches in the opponent's box. 63-37 advantage in possession for Defiance to start things off. So still very early on. Encouraging numbers in a variety of statistical departments here for Wade Weber's club. Uderitz does well to earn possession right there. No foul. Stuart Hawkins, Academy product, signed last June. Hawkins and Uderitz, center backs this evening. Found Aroma, makes a nice turn here to create space, evading that initial defender, looking to play it near side. Leatherman had the initial touch to it, but it fell to the feet of MNUFC2. Nice run made from the back here by Sousa. Centers and sent away. Look how quickly that transition sequence developed for Tacoma. What's going on here? Yellow issue. Way back here. On the Minnesota coaching staff. No, that's on Weah. I think the staff was having a conversation after Patrick Weah receives the yellow card. There's a man down behind all of the action that just took place. That's Uderitz. Back on his feet, and okay. This portion of the match brought to you by Providence Swedish, official healthcare partner of Seattle Sounders FC and Tacoma Defiance. Now Uderitz looks to be all right. Interplay between himself and Ovalle after that. Send it deep. Another run made by Manungu. Does well to settle just outside the box. Some clever probing here. Manungu to the middle. Sent right back. Throw in here for Tacoma. How active has Georgie Manungu been in the early going? Signed in January. Spent a majority of last year on loan with Defiance. 7 starts in 18 matches. Jorgensen trying to keep that in. This time, Manungu unable to track it down. We were talking with Wade Weber about the run that this team is on right now. He said, look, we've had a couple of road games at Houston, at Salt Lake, where we found ways to actually get 3 points in the last 10 minutes or even later in stoppage time. He said those are heartwarming, but you don't want to pin your hopes on late winners. You want to have recreatables and play in a way that players can understand, isn't overly complicated, still provide that degree of challenge for their development. He was talking specifically about that Real Monarchs game as this is played near side. Patrick Weah, who just received that yellow. Weah trying to cut to the middle, brought down. Well done by Frank Tacoma getting back defensively. Weber was talking about that Real Monarchs game. Said even though they were a young team, I looked at their lineup, said he thought to himself, we have to win this game. And when Monarchs scored, 30 minutes left, said he had to admit he was not sure they'd turn things around. He's just seen those kind of things happen. And he noted he didn't go so far as to despair. He said, I was not despairing, but it was in the area code. He said, quote, Lord of the Rings teaches us that despair is for those who know the end beyond all doubts, and none of us do. I loved how Coach dropped a Lord of the Rings reference in his mental evaluation, recapping the Monarchs match. I also felt internally discouraged that I could not quite, on the spur of the moment, know the reference he was talking about, as more of a Harry Potter or Star Wars person. Haven't quite read Lord of the Rings, but having a little bit of inspiration now from Wade Weber quoting it. Good turn here. Weah goes down in the box, no whistle. They're trying to assert himself a little bit more. Started at center forward the last 3 matches. Had a penalty kick goal last week, did Weah. No despair right now for Wade Weber. His team up 1-0. It's been a fantastic start for Tacoma. Sousa plays at the top of the 18. Deroma, nice cut inside. Didn't have an angle to shoot though. Sousa will clip it in. Jorgensen was boxed out of any potential scoring threat. Uderitz will tap it back to his keeper, Andrew Thomas. Did well in that early sequence, was crossed into the 6-yard box with Diego Pacheco on the near side. He ensured it did not get that far. The Minnesota right winger to have an opportunity to send that in. It's been the best opportunity for Minnesota thus far, trying to bring a little bit of pressure here. Front line coming up a bit higher, and there's the takeaway. Pacheco cuts to the near post, and Thomas is there. This is better for Minnesota. Thomas with his second stout play of the match, and immediately sends it deep. That was a nervy moment as Pacheco was able to take it away. He's 3rd in the league in goals. That was no easy sequence by any means to navigate out of for Tacoma. Nothing cut and dry about that. Thomas didn't make it look routine. Quickly the other way though. Gomez sprays it to the far side. Another ball chipped in. Jorgensen vying for it. Out of play. A goal kick here for Minnesota United. Minnesota trying to play out of the back here. Emmanuel Iwe was making a run. Throw in here for FC2. Iwe, the first Minnesota native to be signed by the second team. Last season, 13 starts and 16 appearances, had a pair of goals and assists before right foot ligament tear ended his season prematurely. Has done well to work his way back. Uche. Leatherman settles. High cross. Across nearly the entire width of the box. Powderford looked to play it in. Nothing doing that time for Minnesota. As Fisher will look to re-engage over to Leatherman. Only 65% of possession controlled by Tacoma here in the first half. That's one hopper to Thomas. Doesn't even bother to pick it up until now, and he'll send it out to Sousa. That'll be a foul just outside the circle. Talking to as well. Cedric Jabot, 20-year-old from the Ivory Coast. May have been enough of a foul to serve as a final warning from our match official, Karen Collado. Done on the near side, and Weah battling for it once more. A lot of attention being paid to Weah, deservedly so. Rodriguez, the goal scorer today. Gomez. Manungu, probing. Gets towards the center, and that was headed away. Britton Fisher with the intervention. Looks like Fred Emmings would have been there, but you never know if that may have been spilled. Fisher ensures that heads out of play, does concede a corner. This portion of the match brought to you by Wafed Bank. Crush your financial goals with free checking from a best bank. '26th minute here. Corner kick in swinging ball. Back out to the edge of the area. DeRoma tried to volley it forward. This may lead to a counter for Minnesota. That stay in on the far sideline? No, it did not. It's actually out on FC2 here. Some confusion from man Cameron Knowles on the far sideline. Thought his team was off to the races. Iwe. Skies it high in the air. Back and forth along that far sideline at the moment. Herrera to throw it now. joined the Sounders Academy in 2017. Now right back over to Minnesota. See if they can get a cross out of this. Get a corner. Taking some time for Minnesota United to settle into the rhythm of this game. Looking very confident and competent at moments throughout. High press has worked on a number of sequences. Trying to generate a little more scoring chances, though. Looks like a foul outside the 18 there, which will set up a set piece. Yellow has been issued to Frank DeRoma of Tacoma. So Driscoll went to the turf. So player from both sides now in the book. Way up for Minnesota. DeRoma for Tacoma.
A yellow card to home player number 34, Frank DeRoma.
Gallardo getting the set piece set up here. Tacoma looks like they'll have a two-man wall. Pacheco and O'Driscoll stand on the ball. Pacheco whips it in. Header is well too high. There's Britton Fisher. It's not a bad effort on the set piece there from Minnesota. Just unable to redirect it forward. I was talking with Minnesota head man Cameron Knowles just about the transition. Of course, spent a lot of time in the Portland organization. Won a championship as well, now in his second year with Minnesota. Just talking about that transition and settling into it now. Has had time to build the culture. And he said when he was in Portland, when he moved from the first team to the second, well, that second team had already been around for a while. The staff, built a core of players, walked into something that already exists. So he said to be a part of something, you're creating it from scratch. It's really exciting, but also maybe perhaps overwhelming at times. There's so many things to figure out and get done. And that's Leatherman down momentarily for Minnesota. Now looks to be okay. But he said he's really excited. There's high expectations for the incoming players. As a team that's had an entire season now to figure out who each other is, work with the first team players coming down, while also integrating the academy players in. This is just a lot easier this year. Everything through and through. He's excited about the way things look like they're developing moving forward. 20 goal scorers on this team. Being challenged right now, though. Have not been able to find a rhythm here in the first half. Yeah, has been held in check, but Pacheco had a nice chance. Ultimately thwarted by Andrew Thomas, who was at the right angle that he needed to be. Thomas, one of a number of players who was really impressed and showed an admirable resolve in returning from injury. Eway, we talked about a little earlier as well, that right foot ligament tear. Andrew Thomas underwent surgery recently. Here's Manungu, 1-on-2. Third defender in the area, he lays it off. This is chip center, Rodriguez. Flag is up. Crowd in disagreement. Rodriguez just a step too early there. Fisher being harassed by Manungu. Good ball and a back tap. Weah making the run, and a necessary intervention by Uteritz. So Pacheco is capable of getting others involved as well. Weah backing down his man. What a handball. Nothing given. And now a throw in here for Tacoma. Driscoll and Weah trying to harass Tacoma. You get the sense right now, it may not come in prolific spurts, but you just sense that whether it's Weah, Pacheco, maybe Iwe, there will be more chances here for Minnesota, who have displayed some clever thinking over the course of the first half hour plus. Just been unable to sequence everything together. Not been a particularly, we use the word prolific, half for either side. 5-3 right now in shots taken, an advantage for Tacoma. 0.33 expected goals for Tacoma, 0.3 for Minnesota. A fair half. Way up. Is this going to get through? No. It's a match in which both sides really having to work hard for any chances, and the one goal was perhaps the exception to that. That's a nasty collision. Looks full speed. And that's not to say Rodriguez didn't work hard for his goal, but was very skillful. Took a step to his left. Defender did not step up, and he slotted it home, so the one defensive miscue to the goal. There's going to be a yellow card distributed here. It's Tacoma, that infraction. Driscoll will be the one to send in the set piece. Try to confirm who that yellow is with in a moment. Driscoll, first-year man for Minnesota on the ball. When Hopper keep it in the area. Halford could not, and Bjorgolfsson looking upfield. Manungu is onside. Manungu trying to step to his right. Nobody there. Bjorgolfsson's ball to Manungu was actually really well timed. An admirable defense in the transition moment there from Minnesota. Rodriguez gives it right back. Manungu on the near side. Looking to create once more. Can he get the edge? That touched it a tad heavy and able to be scooped up by Fred Emmings. Saying Manungu's name quite often here in the first half. Ivory Coast native. He had 3 assists in a match against Colorado Rapids 2 last year. He's seen time for the Ivory Coast U20 national team. He talked about that transition, said last season it was not easy coming from Africa. So the coach helped me. The team was like a family, trying to push together. And he was not shy about stating his goals. He said, this year I want to make the first team. Do everything possible to show that I am capable of that. You see the qualities of why this organization is high on him here in the first half. Gomez. Romo and Ovalle so capable in the midfield. It's hard to press them into a mistake. Gomez showing some clever technical ability on the ball throughout the first 40 minutes as well. This is Antonio Herrera. Can navigate his way past Devin Paddleford on that scenario. Leatherman lays it back. Ooh. Shaky moments here for Minnesota. Mungu and Rodriguez really forcing Leatherman to work. Bo gets it out of the area. That's not the cleanest way to move that forward into the attacking third. Ultimately, too heavy a ball, and Andrew Thomas with it here. First half starting to wind down. Own goal in this first half coming in the 8th minute. Gomez had the assist, Rodriguez the goal. Good. Down for a moment. Lost his shoe. All is well. Sends it forward. Jorgensen battling with Fisher. Ends up with it. Chasing. Played back to Thomas. Looks to clear to the near side, but instead it winds up in the stands. This portion of the match brought to you by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, a proud supporter of Tacoma Defiance. We've seen Minnesota at times seem content with playing long, trying to find Wea or Iwe on runs from the back. Worked from the midfields, a good percentage as well, and had some opportunistic transition moments. Tacoma made things difficult here in the first half. Here's Souza attacking from that back 4 spot. Jorgensen gets a touch to it, can keep it in. He does. Manungu once more. A lot of offensive threats in the box at the moment. Tacoma will reset. Ovalle accelerates forward. Here's Fito Ovalle, wearing the captain's armband, lays it off, centering pass. Rodriguez wants another. Not that time. But Tacoma looks threatening once again. Started with the run from Fito Ovalle. Great centering pass from Manungu, and Rodriguez was able to plant his right foot and step into it. Ultimately off target. Enough defensive influence in the area to cause some stress on the shot. It wasn't all that far away. Now Rodriguez takes this away. Rodriguez off the post. No, Manungu tried to follow and it trickles instead to Emmings. Nearly 2-0 in a brace. The yellow card issued here though. It's on Jabot. So this is not over here. What a sequence that was. All throughout this match, they've really been putting the pressure on Fisher, and that time, a very heavy touch. Rodriguez was that close to his brace. And here is where the foul was, just outside the 18, and a yellow given to Jabot. So this chance on that was generated off the giveaway. It's certainly not finished yet. So close to the box. The question always is in these kind of situations, whoever takes that shot, get enough lift on it, try to curl it in. The wall and keeper so close. You've got Rodriguez and Herrera standing on the ball. Leo Rodriguez steps into it, into the top of the wall, and Daroma His follow just wide of the post. It was a wide open net. He looked onside. That may have been a clean follow-up. Instead, it took a touch. Corner kick. Looks like, I'm not seeing that right. I thought that was off to Roma. Instead, Tacoma playing that quickly. Herrera trying to find an angle to send it into the box. Lost it there. And Rodriguez had a one-on-one with the keeper. Was that close to his 5th goal of the season. Denied by the woodwork. He got past Hemmings. Able to get it despite the challenge from Herrera. There's the Iwe on the far side. To do anything by the flag in that situation. O'Driscoll clips it in, header, we're level, it's 1-1. How about this response from Minnesota to conclude the half? It's Diego Pacheco, his 6th goal of the season. He is simply a goal scorer for Minnesota United. How about the service? How about the finish? 1-1, game on. Watch Pacheco just narrowly guide that off the top of his head into the corner. He placed it perfectly. The most brisk of a touch. It does its job. And for how well Tacoma has played in this first half, perhaps a bit deflating and disconcerting to go into the locker room in a level affair. And we said it a few minutes ago, it may not come at a high volume. You got the sense that Minnesota had found small cracks in the code throughout the first half against this Tacoma squad. Bjorgovsen heads to Manungu, he goes down. No whistle here. See how much stoppage time we have here to conclude the first half. O'Driscoll tried to get into that transition moment a little too quick. May have been something development. 3 minutes of stoppage time. Rodriguez looking to get it back. Place it to the top of the area. There's a bit of hesitation between Gomez and Manungu. It's an 8-4 advantage in shots taken for Tacoma in the first half. 0.92 expected goals to 0.3. But touches in the opponent's box, final third entries, they're pretty even. In fact, that's an advantage to Minnesota. So if you're going by shots taken, sure, Tacoma has the advantage. Possession as well. All sorts of analytical numbers you could look at as well that show that Minnesota has done more than hold their own in this first half as well. O'Driscoll's going into the book here. So the final 5 minutes of this first half, O'Driscoll will pick up an assist as well as a yellow card. Anyway, O'Driscoll does nice to turn. A little bit of space, breathing room for his teammates to operate with. Leatherman now. Quickly getting that script flip. Rodriguez was inches away from making this a 2-0 game. Really breaking the spirits of Minnesota heading into the half, and instead, FC2 has knotted it up off a beautiful service from O'Driscoll. Shot from distance here. Ambitious effort from Jabot. Why not, as the seconds tick down here in the first half. It's been an entertaining, honest first half for either side. Action back and forth, plenty of strong runs being made, good individual play. Here's a run on the far side. Thomas stays in front. And that'll send us into the half. So the early goal from Braulio Rodriguez, the response from Diogo Pacheco. We go into the half level at 1-1. Entertaining first 45 minutes. It's the 6th goal of the season for Diogo Pacheco. It's the 4th of the season for Braulio Rodriguez. 1-1 after 45 minutes of play in Tacoma. Here on MLSNextPro.com. Entertaining first 45. We'll take a look back at last weekend in a moment. First, everyone loves a comeback story. Samara Perez has more on the journey for North Texas Diego Hernandez. We do caution that some of the images shown in this interview are graphic in nature.
Hi there, I'm Samara Perez, and in this edition of our Players Profile series, we are joined by someone who experienced a very traumatic incident. He'll be sharing that story with us today, but we would like to warn you that there are some disturbing images. Let's welcome Diego Hernandez from North Texas SC. Diego, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us. We are delighted to have you on.
Thank you so much for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Diego, before we talk about your incident, we would like to get to know a little bit more about you. We know that you are the club's youngest ever player to debut professionally at only 15 years old. Talk to us about your start in soccer and how you fell in love with the sport.
My start in soccer came when I was 3 years old. I have 3 older brothers, and they all play. So from the beginning, I was so eager to play. And when I finally got that opportunity, I just never looked back. On the weekends, my whole family was always at the park. Like, that is where you would find us. And just like immediately fell in love with the sport. And it's something that I've, continued throughout my whole life. And I want to continue to keep this part of my life. Now, I was 5 years old when I first started here. And since then, it's just been progressively year after year, just going up the ranks. And the club has given me the opportunities to start playing professionally and, start getting closer to where I want to be.
Now, shifting gears to what we mentioned earlier, you were involved in a serious car accident. What do you recall from that?
I remember turning on my truck, and that's as far as I can tell you. From the accident itself, I have no true recollection of it. But in terms of from investigations, police reports, it was an accident that was very, very hard in terms of I was driving a Ford F-150, and for all of you who have trucks, they're big vehicles. And fortunately, I was struck on my side, which caused my truck to skid and flip for close to 80 yards, almost a football field. And the truck that hit me was a Silverado, going at about 97 miles an hour. And it was something that was, it's very hard to, picture that. But that was more or less how the accident took place.
How did it affect you physically and mentally?
I do believe in miracles. I do believe in a higher power, and I believe that day God was with me. In terms of physical, my body was sore, yes, and I had the usual bruises and scratches, but I didn't break a single bone. In fact, I walked in 2 weeks, and I'm so fortunate for that. But one of the things that did leave a mark on me was that mental side of it, that many players face whenever they face adversity, and that really left a mark on my career and my personal development was that mental recovery.
And how were you able to overcome that?
Obviously, with the help of my family, I have a very, very, very strong support group, as I'm sure, many players have, as their families behind them and supporting them. But truly, I can tell you that when it comes to overcoming that adversity, I have to really shine it back on my faith on God and the facts that, there is power in prayer. And when it comes to prayer and growing in your spiritual faith, that's something very important. And for sure, for me, that was what solidified my recovery process.
Diego, now that you're back on the pitch, what are you hoping to accomplish in your first season with MLS Next Pro?
Well, for sure, I have the goals with my team to win a championship, to go as far as we can. But then, there's that individual side where it's my first year, and I have a lot of players around me that are very good players. And I'm going into the season knowing that, there's still a lot for me to learn. There's still a lot of areas for me to grow in. And that's what I'm looking towards, to keep growing and keep improving.
Diego, we appreciate you so much for opening up to us and sharing your story with us. You're truly an inspiring example to follow, and we are proud to have you as part of the league.
Thank you, Samara. I appreciate it.
Thanks for tuning in to today's Player Profile feature. I'm Samara Perez. We'll see you on the next one.
Wow, certainly a powerful story there. Resiliency, perseverance of Diego Hernandez, chronicled so well by Samara Perez. Diego continue to have the support of everyone around the league moving forward as he continues his journey. We're back here at Starfire Stadium, 1-1 our score at the half. Michelle is back with the best of match day 7 in this week's edition of The Spotlights.
Another big week of play, another full slate of players making their names known in MLS Next Pro. Here are your match day 7 players in the spotlight. With the streak they're on, it's no surprise that a Rapids 2 player gets us started this week. Rapids 2 Academy player Daniel Garcia is the rising star of match day 7. The 18-year-old defender earned his first goal of the season and did it within 5 minutes of subbing in. He was actually brought in to help shore up the defense and help them maintain a clean sheet, but ended up also scoring during a set piece to earn Rapids 2 their 3rd goal of the game and to earn him the match day 7 honor. The MLS Next Pro player of match day 7 is Philadelphia Union 2's Nelson Pierre. He was actually one of 7 players on the weekend to score a brace in their team's match. His 2 goals proved vital to helping the Union 2 secure just their 2nd win of the season. Pierre is certainly proving himself a key element to this Union 2 attack, having put up 3 goals and 2 assists so far on the season. As for the best goal of match day 7, well, that goes to Marco Micheletto, and when I say it wasn't even close, it was not even close. He set the new record for the most percentage of poll votes, earning 75% of them, while no other goal even reached 10%. A spectacularly lofted ball from Thomas Roberts put Micheletto in perfect position to score the game winner for Crew 2, and to give him a very rightful place in the Matchday 7 spotlight. The team of Matchday 7 honor goes to Toronto FC2 following the team's first win of the season. And what a convincing win it was. TFC2 also featured one of the 7 players earning a brace for their squads. It was Jordan Faria finding the back of the net twice in the first half to put his team up for good. This was a breakthrough win for Gianni Cimini's side, who recently had suffered back-to-back heartbreakers. Big shout out to all of our Matchday 7 honorees in the spotlight. We'll see you right back here after Matchday 8.
All right, good look there at the spotlight. 1-1 our score here in Tacoma. Leo Rodriguez and Diogo Pacheco, the goal scorers. Meanwhile, 2 more points on the board for Huntsville City out in the East. Next Friday, it's the home debut of Joe Davis Stadium. Huntsville City FC started the season with 7 road matches as renovations were completed. This week will be big for the club, culminating in that milestone match.
Long shot, and it's an absolute banger. Come on, 1v1. Opens in the count. Azad Liadi working forward. Golazo. Free kick driven goalward.
We will have dignitaries on hand as we roll out the red carpet next Friday night at 8 Eastern when Huntsville City reopens Joe Davis Stadium against Crown Legacy FC. That match will air on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV. Certainly looking forward to match week 9. We are already 2 months into this year's MLS Next Pro campaign as we take a look at the upcoming schedule. A trio of matches on Friday to accompany that Huntsville Crown Legacy matchup. Austin FC coming off a 1-0 loss to Colorado Rapids 2 tonight, a matchup of the 2 top teams, top of the Western Conference. They'll head to San Jose moving forward. And of course, your big Sunday slate of games, the defending champs Columbus Crew 2 on the road at FC Cincinnati. So Friday and Sunday action upcoming this week for MLS Next Pro moving forward. All right, let's take a look at first half highlights here in Tacoma. Certainly no shortage of eventful moments in that first half. 14 combined shots between the 2 clubs, both nearly at 1 total expected goal. Started early, Leo Rodriguez evading defenders. I don't even know if he mishit that, or whatever the case may be. He found the back of the net, put it in the perfect spot. There was no chance there for Emmings to get to it. Manungu was all over the place in the first half, wasn't he? Great distribution. This one finding Gomez, and I tell you what, I don't know if that stays out of the net if Emmings is unable to parry that away in some form or fashion. Emmings, a number of nice plays over the course of the first half. There's more service that unable to find the net. Manungu, again, says his name all day. Fisher wanted to be sure in that situation, conceded a corner kick there. And you saw the strong interplay all throughout the first half. Rodriguez, 3 shots over the course. Here's that final shot of the first half for Rodriguez. Heavy touch here from Fisher. They were baiting them into pressing moments all half. This one off the post. Minnesota very thankful for that. Still led to a set piece, and DeRoma nearly followed up on the rebound. Here's the goal scoring sequence for Minnesota United. O'Driscoll, after the set piece, found Diogo Pacheco. 6th goal this season for Pacheco. That certainly made this a game once more. 1-1 as we get set to begin the second half. Tacoma with the slight advantage in possession and shots. 4 shots on target for FC2. 6 yellow cards in that first half. Most recent one coming to Rory O'Driscoll for dissent. Rodriguez, the goal scorer, had a yellow to his name as well. So 6 yellow cards total as both sides make their way out to the pitch. Get ready to begin the second half of action here at Starfire Sports Complex in Tacoma. to have you with us on MLSNextPro.com tonight. AJ Ricketts here alongside you. First goal coming in the 8th minute from Rodriguez. It was Gomez, Sebastian Gomez, the 16-year-old from Florida, with the assist. And then the Diogo Pacheco goal, assisted by Rory O'Driscoll, who also picked up a yellow card in the final moments of that first half. We're talking with Minnesota head man Cameron Knowles about Diogo Pacheco and the great start he's had to the season. He said, look, he came in to start this year in great shape. He came in healthy. You know, last year we missed him on a couple of important stretches, just small injuries. And this year he came in healthy. He stayed healthy. He's been a contributor for us. And he said he still thinks he has more. He's very dangerous on that right-hand side. Just want to get him playing, continue to play efficiently, to take guys on, picking the right moments, also knowing when to combine with teammates versus when to take his defenders 1v1. Feels they can continue to increase the production of Diogo Pacheco and bring other guys into the game as well. What a goal scorer he has on his hands. It's a big reason, even though Tacoma had such a positive start here tonight, and the offense wasn't as crisp as it can be for Minnesota. I felt the moments would come with the caliber of players they have up front. I'm talking with Wade Weber, really fun conversation during the week, meanwhile, for Tacoma. And he was talking about that difference, the knife edge, he said, of idealism and realism. So, you know, we could be idealistic, say we want to play in this manner and aim for almost philosophical concepts of play, whereas the first team, and the level that all of his players want to be at, they can be as philosophical as they want, but they know they have to win. So they live in the reality of soccer. And he said, you know, he feels his team is acknowledging a little bit more. And it's a veteran team, and the scope of what a veteran is in MLS Next Pro, right? If you're older than 20, you might be a veteran in one form or another. And he said, look, we're starting to operate a little bit more in the sense of realism than idealism, and that's been nice to see, the level of accountability within the squad. Saw the efficiency of it early on. Bit of a lapse there towards the end allowed Minnesota right back in it. We're level at 1 apiece as we start the second half here on MLSNextPro.com. Great to have you with us. I'm AJ Ricketts. On it at 1 apiece. Here's Antonio Herrera quickly into the center. Just a little bit too high for Bjorgolfsson. He claps and applauds the effort from Herrera there. Tacoma wasting no time. Talk about, say, potential improvements, adjustments for Minnesota here in the second half. Certainly, I'm sure they wouldn't mind more spells of possession. Souza looking to attack on the far side. Other men dispossessed. Minnesota must be careful here. Done to get back there by Dubois. If it's a little more even in possession, I'm sure Minnesota will not mind. Also, limiting the runs and effectiveness of Manungu may be a priority here moving forward. He's done it well in providing pressure himself. It's not just the runs, which has been impressive. He's caused some stress for Minnesota playing out of the back. A little off balance here on the attempt to send it in. Herrera. Back to FC2. Played in the middle. Options here. Goal! Minnesota! It's 2-1. Wasting no time here in the second half. It's Malik Jesse Khan, his second goal of the season. He scored last week as well. 2-1 to the Loons. It's a poor clearance, and Minnesota takes full advantage. A composed finish right through the wickets of Uderitz. This game has taken a full 180-degree turn. Malik Jesse Khan, 2 goals in 2 weeks. How about this? The Trinidad and Tobago International. How composed did he look there? Didn't overthink it. Settled it down, made the turn, put good pace onto it, and he puts Minnesota ahead 2-1. Now it will certainly be entertaining to see how Tacoma approaches this and how this affects the pace and rhythm of play. How assertive and aggressive does Tacoma get it? It's already felt as if they've been on the front foot for so much of tonight. Just a clinical finish for Malik Khan there. And maybe Minnesota not done here. Emmanuel Iwe sends it far post, settled down, centered again. Not that time from Patrick Weah. It will be a corner kick. Pacheco played it into the middle. Weah could not one-time it, but it's another bright moment there for Minnesota United. Cameron Knowles' team look sharper. They look more crisp coming out of the locker room here. This whipped it. Headed out by Ovalle initially. Another cross in. A lot of jerseys around the area here for Minnesota. Somehow found Tacoma. Herrera tapped it to himself. Rodriguez couldn't get out of the area. Shea will go to the Leatherman on the far side. Overplayed momentarily by Menungu. Valle, nice slide, anticipating that pass. Possession back. So Diogo Pacheco and Malik Khan, the 2 goal scorers for Minnesota. Jorgensen went down. Foul. Roma didn't get by O'Driscoll. Menungu. Leatherman marking. Khan on. Throw into Minnesota. Too heavy on the pass here. I was asking Cameron Knowles too, just about this start and scoring goals and what he feel has contributed to that. He was pretty straightforward. He said, look, you just name the players up front, whether it's Diogo, Manuel, look, Patrick Weah, Minsawi. He said there's a number of guys that can create problems for the opposition that free up opportunities for other players. Jorgensen goes to Herrera near side. Probing, Herrera to his left. Sent away, chased down by Rodriguez. He also said, look, hopefully we can tighten things up to the other end so those multi-goal efforts aren't wasted. Across the center of goal here. Jorgensen slid to try to keep it there. Roma pushes it far side. Sousa. Herrera. It's a high bounce. Rodriguez chasing here. Turning, nice pass, centered. A turn from Manungu, can't get the shot off. Now sprinting the other way is Patrick Weah. His progress stopped quickly there by Uritz. Standing tall. Now Manungu into the box. Manungu chasing. Unable to retain possession here for Tacoma. Starting to play with a bit more of a spark in the previous few minutes. Goal at the end of the half and the start of the new half for Minnesota. Certainly a wake-up call for Wade Weber's club. 3-game win streak certainly in jeopardy at the moment. Plenty of time left to play, surely. What a counterpunch to the early Tacoma tally. Remember, this is a Minnesota team that started as strong as anyone in MLS Next Pro with 3 consecutive wins. Now played towards the middle. Emmanuel Iwe cuts right. Iwe! It's 3-1! Emmanuel Iwe! Second goal this season. Minnesota United has seized control. They trailed 1-0 less than 20 minutes ago. All of a sudden, 3 unanswered. Watch here in the middle, a brilliant touch to his right from Iwe. Fools Udoritz, who takes a step by him with his momentum carrying him to his left. And Iwe had time to slot it home calmly. Minnesota United 3, Tacoma Defiance 1. How about this turn of events? First 40-plus minutes really felt it was all Tacoma. Then the stats started evening up a bit towards the end of the first half. The score evened up in the 44th. And since then, a goal in the 48th and 54th minute from Minnesota United 2. This is impressive stuff right now from the Loons. They find themselves inside the 18. They are finishing in style, not wasting opportunities. And Tacoma certainly with their backs up against the wall now at home. Make no mistake, with players like Jorgolfsson, Rodriguez, Manungu, this certainly is still not out of reach, but it's getting more difficult by the minute. Cameron Lacey will enter for Minnesota United. First substitution of the match for either side. Lacey signed just a couple of days ago, May 12th actually, a 1-year deal with a club option. 2-year-old out of UNC Charlotte. Now maybe another chance here, pressing for a fourth! Thomas got to it with an outstretched hand. Rory O'Driscoll nearly had his first professional goal. Minnesota United is hunting for goals now. Herrera unable to stay in front of Iwe, who was looking for an assist to his name. It's really well done by Thomas there. It's back four for Tacoma, starting to look a bit leaky. Weah exits the game for Minnesota United, by the way, with that entrance from Lacey. Lacey spent 4 years with the Charlotte 49ers. Conference USA, 46 starts, 17 goals. Actually, the American, excuse me, American Conference. I'll play here for a corner kick. Minnesota United, they were that close to a fourth. It has become contagious at the moment. Something has clicked. Driven ball near post. Dealt well, MNUFC2. Tacoma having trouble initially getting out of the area, now able to push forward. They need something positive here. Rodriguez. A little trouble continuing to push that forward. Bjorgolfsson can't make great contact with it. Fred Emmings will simply fall on top. Tacoma just feel a bit shell-shocked. This is really impressive stuff right here from Minnesota United. To come on the road at a team that's really been in as good form as anyone in MLS Next Pro. 9 points over the last 3 matches, 7 goals. Back here at home looking to continue that good form. They score an early goal. Everything's going right here for Tacoma. Good vibes all over the organization, even the Sounders won last night. Bjorgolfsson, MNUFC2 can't get the touch he wanted and launched the shot off. It's a goal kick. Talk about success, though, of MLS Next Pro products. Everyone on this Tacoma roster is very well aware. It was just a few weeks ago, Paul Rothrock scored a goal and had an assist here. See MNUFC2, really wasn't much of an angle. Well done by Emmings to take a step off his line. It was Paul Rothrock who had the game-winning goal last night at Houston Dynamo for the Seattle Sounders. Unable to break down the Houston side that went down to 10 men in the 21st minute, and then down to 9 men in the 78th. Rothrock entered in the 83rd and scored his first career MLS goal. It was just a few weeks ago. Rothrock was right here in Tacoma, scoring goals and contributing to Wade Weber's club. Cody Baker did as well. He made his first MLS start on Saturday. Both signed short-term agreements. Talk about the pathway, opportunity to get your chance at the first team. Tacoma's seen a pair of teammates have those dreams come true in just the past few weeks. And that's not motivation for what they can achieve as well. A couple of substitutions here to report as well. Got 3 of them for Tacoma. Let's see, Sebastian Gomez, Georgie MNUFC2 head to the bench. Blake Bowen, Gio Miglietti, and Chris Aquino entering the match for Tacoma, 3 subs. Quickly pushing into the attacking third. Whipped in, dangerous area. Nobody took a touch, goal kick here. Bjorgolfsson comes off as well. The Hawthorne, California native. Game-winning goal against Dynamo 2 in the 90th minute. Bowen slides in at right back. Goodrich remains at center back. Chris Aquino, 16-year-old from Pasco, Washington, signed last December. Miglietti trying to push it near side. Throw in here for Tacoma. touch here. 59th overall pick by Seattle, San Diego State. Weber looking for spark off the bench. Idea is not timed properly with Aquino. So Diogo Pacheco, Malik Khan, Emmanuel Iwe, the 3 goal scorers for Minnesota United. This portion of the match brought to you by your Western Washington Toyota dealers, proud supporter of Tacoma Defiance. With the discussion here with Valle, Roma, and Malik Khan as well. Good switch of play here. Sousa will chase this down. The first 3 weeks of the season, we mentioned the victories for Minnesota. They outscored their opponents, Real Monarchs, St. Louis City 2, and LA Galaxy 2, 8-2 in that stretch. Since then, a 2-1 loss, a 5-2 loss, a shootout loss, and a shootout win. Again, it's been April 9th, the last time Minnesota experienced an outright win. Now they're about 25 minutes away from a joyous locker room setting. Bowen. Herrera. For any open avenue, all lanes are sealed off there. Miglietti. Remember, Minnesota has been on the road for essentially all of this season. Flag is up here on the run. Cam Lacey. And just one home match so far this year. So the last one was the shootout victory against Chicago at National Sports Center Stadium. Centered off the post, what a response! Tacoma's right back in it. It's Gio Miglietti, the substitute, and it's 3-2. Terrific cross, watch the bottom of your screen. It's Bowen who whips it in and just extending that right foot. It's Miglietti able to connect and direct into the net, and the pressure is on Minnesota now, trying to maintain that lead. I was just about to say, think about that moment in the first half when Rodriguez went off the post. The Twitter account for Minnesota tweeted, "Bless the post," with prayer hands emojis, knowing how much that could have turned the tide of the game. Instead of 2-0 to Tacoma, it remained 1-0. And then Minnesota scored 3 unanswered until that moment there. And that has given new life to Tacoma Defiance. How about that? The substitutes making an impact. Bowen the assist, Miglietti the goal. Final 20-plus minutes certain to proceed in a much different manner than otherwise at 3-1. Bowen, the 59th overall pick we mentioned by Seattle. 5 assists and 47 starts over 4 years at San Diego State. Weber was talking about his play in the preseason, said he attracted some attention during that first team preseason. He said he's positionally versatile, athletic, technically sound. Great presence in the locker room as well. Talked about his willingness to compete. You need that when you're down 3-1, trying to get your team back into the proceedings. He helps with the assist there. This portion of the match brought to you by the Puyallup Tribe of Indians, proud supporter of Tacoma Defiance. Mentioned earlier, he told that story of Wade Weber mentioning he was close to despair when things were knotted up against Real Monarchs. Didn't quite get to that level. I wonder what he was thinking down 3-1 moments ago. Those 3 unanswered goals. His team has not shown any sort of despair. They have fought their way right back in. Minnesota wants an answer themselves. That trickles eventually to Thomas. Quickly outlets to the far side. Here comes Tacoma. Roma, one-touch pass to the far side. Herrera, right back to Roma. Trying to maintain space on the far side with defenders. Herrera. Whistle. Set piece coming up here for Tacoma. Oh, the infraction. Antonio Herrera stands over the ball. These kind of situations are where Uteritz thrives. You don't have the presence of Bjorgolfsson in there anymore. Manungu has also exited the game. Uteritz does well to get to these headers. Oh, that's just wide of the post. That close. It was Blake Bowen who was looking to score this time. Getting up high, directed that just wide of the frame. Watch center your screen. Surrounded by 3 blue jerseys. Blake Bowen is simply a competitor. Minnesota set to make another sub. Leo Kone will enter momentarily. Oh, Kone already in, excuse me. Comes in for Iwe. So Weah and Iwe have exited the match. 2 subs used for Minnesota, 3 for Tacoma. DeRoma, Herrera now turns. Bowen making a run near side. Here's Rodriguez, plays it center. Miglietti was tripped up. Owen takes it right back for Tacoma. Throw in here for the Defiance. Uche thought it should have gone the other way. Played to the edge of the 18, Miglietti back to Bowen. Those 2 the ones to connect just minutes earlier. Ovalle. Roma. Rodriguez was looking to play to the edge of the area. Stuart Hawkins near midfield. Fox Island, Washington native. Roma didn't sense the defender on him there. It's a giveaway in the midfield. Minnesota with ideas here. Shot from the edge. Wider eye to the post. Lee Khan was looking for his second. Jabot right back into the arms of Andrew Thomas. Minnesota with the win in sole possession of third place. That's where Tacoma is already. But entering this match, they do. With an outright win themselves, they would be 1 point outside of second. This play deep, Miglietta chasing. Miglietti. Now a whistle comes in. Miglietti's former U19 Academy coach Michael Morris was talking about his progress. Said when we signed him, it was under the impression that we'd keep him in that center back position. With what Miglietti's done offensively, they said he might have actually worked himself into being in that striker role. Rodriguez sprays it to Herrera. Herrera probing. Bates Leatherman. Valle gives it right back. Two-man game momentarily as Herrera tried to turn there. Lost it, but a throw in here for Tacoma. Just over 15 minutes to work with to try to force kicks from the spot. Oh, here's Rodriguez. Takes an extra touch. Rodriguez, we're level! Rodriguez has a brace. It's 3-3 in Tukwila. Minnesota had 3 unanswered goals. Tacoma has responded with a pair of their own. All of a sudden, this has become an offensive showcase. It's 3 apiece with still plenty of time to play. Watch the run from Rodriguez center. He's so clever with the extra touch and then shifts it back to his right foot and able to slide it right past Fred Hemmings. And Bradolio Rodriguez, goals number 4 and 5 of the season today. He was the man of the match last week with that go-ahead goal in the 88th minute against Real Monarchs. He is showing a flair for the dramatic this season. One of the best goal scorers in Division II soccer last year. Whistle goes up. Late whistle there. Looks like Minnesota might have some open space. Cam Lacey. It's a disheartening 10 minutes for Minnesota, who worked so hard to score those 3 goals. Everything was clicking. Felt like every shot they generated for a span of time was finding the back of the net. They nearly went up 4-1. Rory O'Driscoll was inches away from his first professional goal. Andrew Thomas got a hand to it. Had to extend, make what was a really strong save. And that sequence there may have ensured Tacoma would have a fighting chance. Wade Weber made a number of subs. Blake Bowen came in and assisted Miglietti. And then Rodriguez, the first goal scorer of the evening, finds his way to the net once more. Hope certainly alive once again for Tacoma to extend these winning ways to 4 consecutive games. Minnesota's had 1 great response today. They went down 1-0. They scored 3 straight. What can they do here after Tacoma has put themselves right back into it? Advancing here. Great slide as Cameron Lacey was looking to put a shot on frame. Lacey's represented Jamaica's U17 and U20 national team. Grew up playing in Orlando City's system. This portion of the match brought to you by Providence Swedish, official healthcare partner of Seattle Sounders FC and Tacoma Defiance. And a takeaway there by Herrera. Crowd loves it. Now it's a breakaway. Miglietti running on the near side. Miglietti Centers. Now pushed far side. Herrera! And Tacoma has gone ahead. It's a stunning turn of events. Tacoma was down 3-1. 3 unanswered goals of their own. It's an incredible comeback. It's a sensational individual effort here from Antonio Herrera. Miglietti making the run. It's so well to be patient here. Instead centers, and even though Avalle lost his balance, the presence of mind to find Herrera on that far side. And Antonio Herrera, who started as a right back tonight, has the go-ahead goal for Tacoma here. It's 4-3, now approaching the 80th minute. Herrera has his first goal of the season. His first goal with Tacoma Defiance. Now Tacoma pressing for more, not that time. Miglietti went to the turf. Visible frustration here from Fred Emmings. Let's take another look. The run from Miglietti. A bit of a shove and land awkwardly on that left shoulder. And players are certainly aware that they're down for more than 15 seconds. Again, at the discretion of the official. And by the rule book in this league, warrants 3 minutes off the pitch. A rule designated to decrease time wasting, which it certainly did over the course of last season. Ultimately, to be very sure about the health and status of the player. Miglietti has to be in some sort of pain here. See if the substitution is made. Wade Weber has 2 more. Not a bad nightcap, huh? This has been a fun one, to say the least. 1-0 to Tacoma, then 3-1 to Minnesota, now 4-3 to the Defiance. Wacky game on the West Coast here to conclude match week 8. And the question now is this at last the end of the scoring, or is there more shifts in storylines to come? Can't quite get by the entire back line as Fisher was the last man back. Do well not to assume that the scoring is complete here in Tukwila. 7 combined goals between the two. 3 lead changes. Competent, how efficient, impressive did Minnesota's offense look in that 20-minute stretch from the end of the first half, first 15 or so minutes of the second half. They could do no wrong. 27 combined shots between the two teams, 13 on target. The final 9+ minutes may very well have more drama in the cards. We would not complain as neutrals. Can Minnesota find that similar storyline as last week? Get this to a shootout and take 2 points. Remember, they were up 2-0 on Chicago, their first home match of the season. Chicago scores 3 unanswered of their own. And Minnesota forcing that late own goal. Diogo Pacheco involved in it, pressing high. We're able to get 2 points despite giving up 3 unanswered goals. They'd love to follow that script here today on the road. But no easy task to replicate the precedent which was set last week, this time on the road against the hottest teams in the league, Tacoma Defiance. 3 straight wins, and now maybe 8 or so minutes away from making it 12 points in 4 matches. Really spoke to how impressive the 3 unanswered from Minnesota were over the course of this match. There'll be some regrets if they can not find an equalizer here in the waning moments. Be a throw in here for FC2. Seen a full range of the spectrum of emotions this sport can elicit over the course of 90 minutes. A great case study in that tonight. Legs tangled here. Who's the foul gonna be on? This will be a free kick to Minnesota, it appears. Okay, we haven't said his name in a bit. Diogo Pacheco still very much involved here. Goal scorer who leveled things up in the first half. Pacheco, Khan, and Iwe, the 3 goal scorers for Minnesota. Rory O'Driscoll stands on the ball right here. If well executed, this is certainly a distance from which damage can be done without the need for contributions from a teammate. If O'Driscoll can guide this correctly. Rory O'Driscoll flicks it in right into the hands of Thomas. Did not have to work too hard there. Bowen assisted on that all too meaningful second goal, which gave Tacoma new life. Minnesota has their 3rd sub waiting on the sideline. Play Herrera from distance off the advertisement banner. Zaydan Bello, who's going to check in at the next opportunity. Herrera just had his first professional tally, was looking for another. Herrera's been a part of big games in the system. Appeared in 8 matches, started all 8 matches during the Academy's title-winning U17 Generation Adidas Cup last year. Had a goal against Charlotte FC in that run. So Bo's out, Bello in. Time running out on Minnesota's efforts. Minnesota's gone from being able to claim 3rd place outright to potentially still standing in 7th when this is all said and done. Tacoma, if this result holds, will be 1 point behind Austin for 2nd place in the West. Look at Miglietti fighting a pair of defenders. And then draws the foul. David Powerford having a foul. Miglietti is such a factor since entering. Bowen whips it in, too strong on the cross. Minnesota will have a throw. Minutes before stoppage time begins. Minnesota has to value possession better than that there. They tried to find Leatherman. Even if that hadn't been sailing out of play, the pressure would have been there immediately from Herrera. Sousa the long throw, Miglietti, bring it down. Checo. He's into space. Get backwards. Bello. Leatherman. 89th minute now in Tukwila. Starfire Stadium has seen an absolute gem of a match tonight. Oh, can't find Leatherman there. This would certainly be one of the more memorable regular season matches since MLS Next Pro play began. Thomas able to come off his line. This would be one of the more meaningful regular season wins for Tacoma since this league began last year. Again, down 3-1 in the second half. Third goal for Minnesota coming in the 54th minute. Then a flurry, a 66th minute goal, 75th, and 78th. Maya had the assists on that final goal, the fourth goal for Tacoma. Miglietti, a goal and assist to his name since coming on as a substitute. Gotten word from the fourth official there will be 3 minutes of stoppage time. 3 minutes for Tacoma to try to hold on to this tenuous lead. Minnesota with 3 minutes to try to replicate the precedent set last week, giving up 3 unanswered for a late equalizer. Time running out on those ambitions right now. Buderitz done better with that header. Looks like for a moment might have conceded a corner. Settle punching it out of the back here. Miglietti would love a breakaway opportunity. To the ground, no whistle, no foul. Rodriguez with the brace today for Tacoma. This ball played in. It got by Thomas. Minnesota is tied it at 4. Unbelievable. It's yet another twist in the plot in Tukwila tonight. Unbelievable. It's tied at 4. Minnesota with their backs against the wall, giving up 3 unanswered, and they have yet again, for the second consecutive week, found a way to level the score and potentially send this into kicks from the spot. It's Rory O'Driscoll, the man from New Hampshire, his first professional goal. And what a meaningful time to do it for Minnesota. That is unbelievable. What a match this has been. We said it was simply unsafe to assume the scoring was over. Minnesota really waited until the waning moments. Thomas off his line to retrieve this one. And now simply a minute to spare for either side. And one final push for a goal in regulation here. But you wouldn't be surprised at this point to see a finish of that nature. No foul here as Bowen made his way towards the 18. Seminole squad certainly in position to perhaps now steal 2 points. And very well may end up on the cusp of the top 4 or 5 in the standings. We'll see how it all shakes out here with the score lines. One final throw. Played in towards the 18. Pacheco will send it forward. Uderitz back to Thomas. You may hear the whistles at any moment. Stoppage time equalizer for Minnesota United. Catherine Collado checking the watch. Karen, excuse me. Collado checking the watch. 4-4 here. Balling around midfield at the moment. A little bit of extra time added with that goal being in stoppage time. Herrera trying to pressure Leatherman into a giveaway to throw in here in Minnesota. And that will be the end of stoppage time. One of the games of the regular season in MLS Next Pro. Heading to kicks from the spot. It's Minnesota United pressing forward. Pacheco the assist to add to his goal today. Rory O'Driscoll, who was denied earlier in a sequence that really may have put the match away for Minnesota United. Instead of going up 4-1, Tacoma had new life. They scored 3 unanswered. But Rory O'Driscoll finds that goal in the 91st minute. We're tied at 4 apiece. 30 combined shots between the two teams over those 90-plus minutes. 15 of those on target. We're going to kicks from the spot to finish this out and see who will get the 2 points. A wacky game. An entertaining affair. You've seen resiliency from both sides. You've seen some sloppy moments as well. Sequences that will be assessed and hopefully corrected for supporters of either side moving forward. Watch from their club. Moments of pure jubilation and despair, the word we used earlier today for both sides. And now the goalkeepers will try to outdo one another here. Fred Emmings and Andrew Thomas both have had great moments in goal today. The 4 goals conceded. Trying to put those in the back of their minds now and move forward to the spot kicks. 3 points earned at a premium over the course of the season. Shootout wins and losses, they add up. Valle and Pacheco, Karen Collado. Determine who will shoot first. Thomas just shaking his head in the center of the circle. Tacoma was simply moments away, finding a way out of this with another 3 points and 4 consecutive outright victories. The outright win will not happen for Minnesota. It's still been over 4 weeks now. April 9th was their last 3-point victory. 2 points here may certainly feel like 3. Both keepers make their way towards the net. The 3rd consecutive shootout to finish a match for Minnesota United. For Tacoma, this is the first time they've been in this situation since their season opener on March 26th against St. Louis City 2. Cece Uche to shoot first for Minnesota. 25-year-old. Maplewood, Minnesota native. Drafted in the second round in 2021. Uche steps into it, and the first shot is saved by Thomas. Well done, he guesses correctly. And Andrew Thomas, what a start to spot kicks for Tacoma. That shot had some power and pace to it, and Thomas had no problem securing it. That is a high-level start to spot kicks from Andrew Thomas. And now the pressure on Fred Hemmings and company as Al Uderitz steps to the spot, who entered this match as the leading goal scorer for Tacoma. Rodriguez had a pair today to get to 5 on the year. A goal here would make it 5 for Uderitz. He slides it past Fred Hemmings, and it's 1-0 after round 1 to Tacoma. Calmly taken, and well done from Al Uderitz. Hemmings guessed correctly. Able to get his arms down in time. Now Andrew Thomas looking for another big moment in goal. Diogo Pacheco walks to the spot. The first goal scorer for Minnesota tonight at the end of the first half. Pacheco entered as the league's 3rd leading goal scorer. Oh, it's off the crossbar! Pacheco misses from the spot, and Minnesota is 0 for 2. It's all starting to go wrong right now for Minnesota United. Such a capable goal scorer. Mishits it there. Off the woodwork. And now Ovalle can make it 2-0 here, and kicks from the mark for Tacoma. Vito Ovalle, 2-0 to Tacoma. Here at spot kicks, it's a perfect start here in the quest for 2 points. Hemmings going the wrong way this time. And both of Tacoma's goals coming to the right side of net. But now this is a must-have for Rory O'Driscoll. Rory O'Driscoll is part of the New Hampshire team that had the longest game in NCAA tournament history in the fall against FIU. The most penalty kick rounds in NCAA history. So this perhaps a familiar moment, but now at the professional level, O'Driscoll. That's well done and very necessary for Minnesota in that moment. Driscoll had a couple of goals in that match against FIU. Moving from the spots. He gets Minnesota on the board there. If Hemmings is able to stay in front of this one, certainly could get very interesting once more. It's Travian Sousa. Sousa from the spot. Makes it look simple. Tacoma stays perfect, and a bit of a wry smile as he walks back towards the center circle. Minnesota must score here. Tacoma's gone to that spot on the right post each and every time here. It kicks from the mark. Malik Khan, one of the 4 goal scorers today for Minnesota United. He must score here or this one is over. Thomas has saved one, and one's gone off the crossbar. Khan, oh, that one off the crossbar as well, but finds its way into the net. That's one way to do it. That's difficult to do. A lot of power on that. Thomas certainly not expecting it to rise right above his head. However, Tacoma with an opportunity to win it here off the foot of Frank DeRoma. This would win it for the Defiance and give Tacoma 2 points. Frank DeRoma, he wins it for Tacoma. They go perfect from the spot, and Tacoma Defiance fight their way back from a 3-1 deficit. They go up 4-3, concede a late goal in stoppage time, but regather themselves here in kicks from the spot, and a very composed 4 rounds earns Tacoma Defiance 2 points. And now in their last 4 matches, it's not a perfect 12 points, but it's 11 for Tacoma, and Wade Weber and company will certainly take that moving forward. This will certainly be one of the games of the week, maybe of the season in MLS Next Pro. Minnesota United, too, could not replicate the magic of last week. Nearly did, but Frank DeRoma, here's the game-winning moment. Calmly taken. Went high into the left. And Tacoma will head home tonight in much better spirits than it looked like they might have in the opening few minutes of the second half. Minnesota United should hold their heads high. Nothing to be ashamed of here in what was a valiant and resilient performance from Cameron Knoll's squad, who found themselves in their 3rd consecutive shootout. However, just 1 point to be taken from their incredible comeback. Tacoma Defiance, playing like one of the top teams in the West, one of the top teams in the league at times. They can score goals with the best of them. They found their way into kicks from the spot and earned 2 points tonight. We appreciate you staying up for the nightcap of Week 8 here in MLS Next Pro. Tacoma Defiance takes 2 points from Minnesota United 2. For our entire production team, once again, 2 points to Tacoma Defiance. Don't forget you can watch MLS Next Pro all season long on MLS Season Pass on Apple TV and MLSNextPro.com. Thanks for staying up with us. I'm AJ Ricketts from Torquilla. We bid you good night.
This copyrighted broadcast of MLS Next Pro may not be retransmitted, reproduced, or rebroadcasted without the express written consent of Major League Soccer.